In a small, quiet house on the edge of town, a father and his son Leo shared a life. This wasn't just any life. This was a life built on laughter, respect, and a whole lot of love. Every morning the father would be up before the sun making breakfast. Pancakes on Tuesdays, eggs on Fridays. It was their routine, their sacred time. They'd talk about everything and nothing. They'd laugh so hard the windows would rattle. People in the neighborhood would see them working in the yard together, a perfect team. The father saw the whole world in his boy's eyes. And Leo, he looked at his dad like he was the strongest man in the world. He was his hero, his guide, his rock. One sunny afternoon, a letter arrived. It was an invitation to a big family party. On his mother's side. Leo's eyes lit up like a firework. He hadn't seen his mother's family in years, not since she had left. He ran to his father, the invitation clutched in his hand. "Dad, look, a party. Can we go? Please?" he begged. The father's smile faded, just like that. It was like a cloud had passed over the sun. He looked at the invitation, his face growing hard, his eyes distant. He simply shook his head. "No, son, we can't go to that," he said, his voice low and firm, offering no room for argument. Leo was stunned. He couldn't understand. Why not? "Dad, they're my family too," he pleaded, his voice rising with confusion and frustration. The father turned away, his shoulders tense. He wouldn't give a reason. He just repeated, "We're not going, and that's final." This wasn't the father Leo knew, the man who explained everything, the man who always listened. This was a stranger. A wall had gone up between them, a wall of silence that Leo couldn't break through. The silence was louder than any shouting match they could have had. It was a cold, hard silence that hurt more than any angry word. The hurt quickly turned to anger. White-hot, teenage anger. Leo felt betrayed. He felt controlled. He packed a bag, stuffing clothes in with shaking hands. Tears of rage streamed down his face. "If you won't take me, I'll go by myself," he yelled, his voice cracking. His father stood by the door, his face a mask of pain, but he didn't stop him. He just watched his son, the center of his universe, walk out into the unknown. Leo slammed the door behind him, the sound echoing the shattering of their perfect world. He was sure he was doing the right thing. He was sure his father was wrong. He had no idea the path he was walking down. When Leo arrived at his mother's family home, it was everything he had dreamed of. The house was huge, filled with music and laughter. Aunts, uncles, and cousins he barely remembered rushed to greet him. They hugged him tight, telling him how much they had missed him, how big he had gotten. "Leo, you're finally here! We're so glad you came!" his aunt exclaimed, pulling him into the party. For the first time in hours, Leo felt a sense of belonging. This was family. This was warmth. This was what his father had tried to keep from him. He felt happy, truly happy, believing he had made the right choice. As the party went on, one of his older cousins pulled him aside. "Hey man, you look a little stressed. Try this, it'll help you relax," he said, offering Leo a small, innocent-looking pill. Leo hesitated for just a moment, but everyone was having such a good time. He wanted to fit in. He wanted to feel as carefree as they all seemed. So he took it. And his cousin was right. A wave of euphoria washed over him. All his anger, all his confusion, it all just melted away. He felt incredible, weightless. This, he thought, must be what true happiness feels like. Over the next few weeks, Leo stayed with them. And the help kept coming. His family was so generous, always making sure he felt good, always offering him something to take the edge off. He didn't realize he was being led down a dark path. He thought it was love. He thought it was acceptance. He didn't see the trap being laid. The drugs became a part of his daily life, a crutch he didn't even know he was leaning on. His days blurred into a hazy, pleasant fog. He was so wrapped up in the feeling, he never stopped to ask why they were so eager to keep him supplied. The day came when the fog began to clear, replaced by a desperate need. The pleasant feeling was gone, and in its place was a gnawing, painful craving. He went to his cousin, asking for more, but this time the warm smile was gone. The cousin's face was cold, businesslike. "Glad you like it, little cousin," he said with a smirk. But the free samples are over. From now on, you pay, just like everybody else. The words hit Leo like a punch to the gut. This wasn't a gift. It was a transaction. He had been a customer all along, and now the bill was due. Panic seized Leo. He was trapped. The warmth and welcome he had felt from his mother's family had vanished, replaced by cold, hard stares. He pleaded with them, his voice shaking. "I don't have any money. You're my family. Please, just help me," he begged his aunt. She just laughed, a cruel, sharp sound. "Family helps family, sure," she said. "But business is business. No money, no product." He realized the truth with sickening clarity. They weren't his saviors. They were his dealers. Their love was conditional, their welcome a lie designed to create a new customer. He spent the next few days in a state of agonizing withdrawal. His body ached, his head pounded, and a cold sweat clung to him. He argued, he begged, he tried to reason with every family member he could find. Each one turned him away with the same dismissive wave of the hand. They watched his suffering not with pity, but with impatience. He was no longer the cherished nephew who had come home. He was a problem, a junkie who couldn't pay his debts. Rejected and broken, he finally understood. There was only one person who had ever truly loved him without condition. He had to go home. Dragging his feet, sick and ashamed, Leo finally stood on the doorstep of the home he had so angrily abandoned. He knocked, and the door opened to reveal his father. The man's face was etched with worry, his eyes filled with a deep sadness as he looked at the state of his son. Leo didn't waste time with apologies. He couldn't. The addiction was screaming louder than his conscience. "I need money, Dad," he demanded, his voice raspy and harsh. "Just give me some money, now!" He was a different person from the boy who had left. The light in his eyes was gone. His father's heart broke. He saw the desperation, the sickness, but he also saw the trap. Giving him money would be like handing him a shovel to dig his own grave. "No, son," he said, his voice gentle but firm. "I'm not giving you money for that, but I will help you. We will get through this together. We can get you into a recovery program. We can fix this." The father reached out, wanting only to hold his son, to heal him, but Leo wasn't listening to the words of love. He was only listening to the addiction's roar. He saw his father's refusal not as protection, but as the ultimate betrayal. Rage, fueled by desperation and withdrawal, exploded inside Leo. All he heard was no, the same no that had started this whole nightmare. "You never help me! You just want to control me!" he screamed, his mind twisted by the craving. He didn't see a loving father trying to save him. He saw an obstacle. In a blind fury, he shoved his father, hard. It wasn't a playful push. It was a violent, desperate act. His father, caught off balance, stumbled backward. His foot caught on the edge of a rug and he fell, his head striking the sharp corner of a wooden coffee table with a sickening crack. Silence. The rage vanished, replaced by icy horror. Leo stared as his father lay motionless on the floor, a dark pool of blood spreading around his head. "Dad?" he whispered, his voice trembling. "Dad, get up!" He rushed to his side, but the damage was done. The father's eyes fluttered open, hazy with pain. He looked up at his son, and there was no anger in his gaze, only a deep, profound sadness and an overwhelming love. He reached up a weak hand, touching Leo's cheek. He knew he didn't have much time. He had to make his boy understand. "I'm sorry, Leo," the father whispered, his breath shallow. "I should have told you. Your mother's family. They did this to her too. That's how we lost her. To the same poison. I was just so scared of losing you the same way." The words hung in the air, heavy with the weight of years of silent fear and sacrifice. He had been protecting Leo all along, bearing the burden of a terrible secret to shield his son from a pain he knew all too well. He hadn't been controlling him. He had been guarding him with his entire being. Tears streamed down Leo's face as the crushing weight of his actions fell upon him. He saw it all now. His father's refusal, his silence, it was all an act of desperate love. "I love you, son," his father breathed, his hand falling from Leo's face. "Never forget that." And then he was gone. Leo was left alone in the sudden, deafening silence, kneeling in his father's blood. He had destroyed the one person who had only ever wanted to save him. The regret was a physical agony, a wound that would never heal. He had his father's love, but it had cost him his father's life, and that was a price he would have to pay for the rest of his days.